Press is reported on the second day of historic diplomatic talks between the United States and Cuba. Delegations zeroed in on reopening embassies. It's one step in landmark discussions to normalize ties between Havana and Washington. CCTV's Michael Voss has more now from the Cuban capital.
The American team is led by Assistant Secretary of State Roberta Jacobson. Representing the Cubans is Josefina Vidal, head of the Cuban Foreign Ministry's American desk. The two women have met before around the negotiating table, but never for such a historic mission: to end half a century of confrontation and restore diplomatic relations. Their mood appears positive, but there are concerns on both sides.
There are some steps that we will continue to talk about as part of the reestablishment of diplomatic relations, including, as I outlined before I came here, personnel and facilities and diplomatic shipments that we need to iron out before diplomatic relations can be restored.
To Cuba, this means reciprocal respect for the political, economic, and social systems sovereignly chosen by our peoples, and to avoid any form of interference in the internal affairs.
Both sides, though, do appear keen to come up with a speedy solution. Despite President Raul Castro's reforms, Cuba's economy is struggling and in need of investment. Its major ally, Venezuela, is suffering from the effects of low oil prices, as is Russia, which also faces Western sanctions over Ukraine. Improved relations would also benefit U.S. strategic interests in Latin America, where almost all the region's leaders support Cuba. Many have threatened to boycott the Summit of the Americas in April if Cuba is not included. For many Cubans, it's time to reassess how they perceive their old enemy, the United States.
Now we can call them our comrades to the north, our friends, because that big hostility that existed for years has now been broken.
But not everyone is convinced.
They will give you a hand on one side, but you have to be careful with the other. Che Guevara once said that you cannot yield to the Americans. They may pretend to be sheep, but they are wolves.
Another reminder of the past was this Russian spy ship which docked in Havana Bay this week. Everyone, it seems, is interested in the outcome of these talks.